Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about antigen, their properties, types, immunogenicity and antigenicity. What is antigen? The substance that can be recognized by the immunoglobulin receptors of B cells or by the T cell receptors when complexed with MHC are called antigens. The molecular properties of antigens and the way in which these properties ultimately contribute to immune activation are central to our understanding for the immune system. The presence of antigens in the body normally triggers an immune response. The antigen abbreviation stands for an antibody generator. The antigens are targeted by the antibodies. Each antibody is specifically produced by the immune system to match an antigen after cells in the immune system come into contact with it. This allows a precise identification or matching of the antigen and the initiation of an adaptive response. The antibody is said to match the antigen in the sense that it can bind it due to an adaptation in an antigen binding fragment of the antibody. Antigen are proteins, peptides, amino acid chains, and polysaccharides, but lipids and nucleic acid become antigens only when combined with proteins and polysaccharides. The antigen may originate from within the body, that is known as self-protein, or from the external environment, they are non-self. The immune system identifies and attacks non-self external antigens and usually does not react to self-protein due to negative selection of T cells in thymus. This is the picture showing the antibody and the antigen. The antibody will specifically bound to the specific site of this antigen. Next is the properties of antigen. The antigen should be a foreign substance to induce an immune response. The antigens have a molecular mass of 40,000 to 6 lakh daltons. They are mainly proteins and polysaccharides. The more chemically complex they are, the more immunogenic they will be. The antigens are species specific. The age influences the immunogenicity. Very young and very old people exhibit very low immunogenicity. Next is the types of antigen. There are mainly two types of antigen. On the basis of origin, the types are exogenous antigens. The exogenous antigens are the external antigens that enter the body from outside, example inhalation, injection, etc. These include food allergen, pollens, aerosols, etc. and are the most type of the antigens. The second is the endogenous antigens. The endogenous antigens are generated inside the body due to viral or bacterial infections or cellular metabolism. Third is the autoantigens. The autoantigens are the self-proteins or nucleic acids that due to some genetic or environmental alterations get attacked by their own immune system, causing autoimmune diseases. The fourth is the tumor antigens. It is an antigenic substance present on the surface of the tumor cells that induces an immune response in the host. Example MH1 and MHC1 and MHC2. Many tumors develop a mechanism to evade the immune system of the body. 5 is the native antigens. An antigen that is not yet processed by an antigen presenting cell is known as native antigens. The second type of the antigen is based on the immune response. There are mainly two types of immune responses, antigens based on the immune response. The first is the immunogen. These may be proteins or polysaccharides and can generate an immune response on their own. The second is the hapten. These are non-protein foreign substances that require a carrier molecule to induce an immune response. The next topic is the immunogenicity and antigenicity. The immunogenicity and antigenicity are related but distinct immunological properties that sometimes are confused. Immunogenicity is the ability to induce a humoral or cell-mediated immune response. Although a substance that induces a specific immune response is called as an antigen, it is more appropriately called an immunogen. These immunogens are large molecules with molecular weight at least less than 10,000 Dalton, and that is why they can induce the immune response. The antigenicity is the ability to combine specifically with the final product of the above response, that is antibodies or the cell surface receptors. Although all molecules that have the property of immunogenicity also have the property of antigenicity, the reverse is not true. That is, with the molecules which have the property of antigenicity will not have immunogenicity. That is the meaning of the reverse is not true. Some small molecules called haptens are antigenic but incapable by themselves of inducing a specific immune response. The haptens are small molecules with very low molecular weight, and that is why they are not capable of inducing the immune response. An example of such hapten is drugs like penicillin. In other words, they lack the immunogenicity. Haptens can be immunogenic if they bind with carrier proteins, because once they bind with carrier protein, it will increase the molecular weight so that they can induce the immune response. The haptens plus the carrier molecule become immunogen. All immunogens are antigenic, but all antigens are not immunogenic. It is very important. All immunogens are not antigenic, but all immunogens are antigenic, but all antigens are not immunogenic. This is a picture showing the immunogenicity versus the antigenicity. It is the same as in the previous slides.